Asking versus assuming. Well, we do know that when we ask, we are asking questions, to get the ideal outcome. I trust that's going to help us move us things forward by asking. Now, if we assume, usually most of us know what assume means. It makes a ass out of you and me. Now, often I also say that we assume, I did at one point too, assume everybody knows me, everybody knows what I'm looking for, they know what I want, I assume everybody does the same thing I do. Well, actually, that doesn't save us any time and projects on people what we think of them and maybe not assuming what they ask without even go, does that interest you? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm assuming rather than even asking if that interests you. So this is a skill I trust that most people not even aware of and know how to change it. But if you are somebody who's open to changing it, great. So when we go to a restaurant, the server, we don't want the server to assume what we want, right? The goal is that they have to ask us questions. I like to use that analogy as a server because at the end of the day, we want to go to a restaurant or a place where we're going to eat or get coffee. And that person behind the counter usually has to ask us questions to help us get to what we want. Like for coffee, do you want a hot or cold? What size? What kind of milk do you want? I mean, so much in there. But often, a great customer service is providing and asking us questions, trusting it helps us they get to help us get what we want. Can't be there all day. I don't think they want to assume. It doesn't look good for them. It doesn't look good for the company. So being able to actually know these things, again, we're not taught these things. When we become an entrepreneur, so, in our own business, being our own boss, it's not always easy. I'm inspired by people who take the opportunity to want to leave the corporate world and have their own business, whether it's on, trusting it's on things that you're already good at. But again, nobody gave us a roadmap. But really taking the time to ask thought-provoking questions. That is something I do very well, but it took time for me to understand that. Grateful to have a coach in my life and had to ask myself questions, like what questions do I like to be asked? Am I talking at people? Am I telling them too much information? Am I giving advice without actually asking them? But, really taking the time to ask people, what questions do you like to be asked? What thought-provoking questions that people asked you that landed on you, like, wow, that person cares. So these are some things I like to support people maybe thinking of versus going, wow, well, what really could happen differently in your life and your results if you were really concerned and asking better questions. If you're not sure what that is, again, ask yourself, what questions do you like to be asked versus assuming? Would you think assuming actually wastes time and really doesn't help us get to know the person? I mean, I trust at the end of the day, asking questions, just like lawyers do and doctors do and police officers, they got to ask questions. They got to define what's really going on. The same thing for us. First place, it starts with asking ourselves questions. Where could I be better? What's important to me? How can I be better at what I'm looking for? What more do I want in life? Now, sometimes we don't know those things, but it's good to have other people surrounded with people who could help us figure that out and help us write it down and plan those goals and getting more specific and timely and what that looks like. Again, but being able to hire people who are showing us how to do it differently. Again, it's a whole new mindset versus if we've been told all the time what to do, how to communicate better. This does make us a better leader, not only in our professional life, but also in our personal life. So what are your thoughts about asking better questions, thought-provoking questions? As I'll say when it comes to thought-provoking questions, often I'll say, well, if I made you think about something, then I'm doing my job. I'm not here to be robotic like everybody else. I want to ask questions. I'm here to serve you. What are you looking for? How may I support you in getting what you're looking for? If I don't know what you're looking for, how do I know if I'm the right person for it? Or maybe I know somebody. So really having the time my world is also serving myself first. Therefore, I serve and ask other people. I'm grateful for my willingness to want to serve myself better, fulfill my cup, so then I can serve others in what they're looking for. That's how I always looked at it. They ask for something when I help you get that. I may not be the right person, but I'm trusting if I know people, I'll ask somebody who might know that. So again, what are your thoughts about asking versus assuming? Which one would give you the better outcome? Well, again, if your strategy isn't working for you and you like something better, love to connect. So what are your thoughts? Add your feedback, your comments, share this video with others, and see you on the next video.